What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the legend himself, Travis Scott aka LaFlame, and just how his Utopia album has aged over the last 6 months. Now before we get started, I wanted to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats who's been cooking up the beats for my videos, so make sure you guys show him some love. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe, and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. And shout out to all my chefs in there. Now, following a nearly 5-year wait after Travis Scott dropped his album Astroworld, he finally blessed his fans in July of 2023 with the release of Utopia, a now classic Travis Scott album that would go on to break many records and is even in the running at the moment for Best New Rap Album for the Grammys, one that he definitely deserves, and I hope that he wins, especially after the Astroworld robbery. And if you've been following my channel since the beginning of Travis Scott's Utopia rollout, it's honestly insane that it's been 6 months since these photos first went viral of his bodyguards handcuffed to the Utopia briefcase, which allegedly had the album inside of it and was definitely creating a big buzz. And just to show the world how ambitious LaFlame was, he actually had plans for a really lit album release party and performance in front of the pyramids to celebrate the rollout for Utopia. However, unfortunately at the last moment, it looks like things weren't able to be pulled off, and it left all of us wondering what was going on next. And in traditional Travis Scott fashion, he had something lit planned for the fans right up his sleeve and right around the corner, because it wasn't long after that he would later perform for the first time at the Circus Maximus show in Rome, Italy. And he would go on to surprise all of his fans in attendance by bringing out the GOAT and his mentor, Kanye West. And in case you couldn't tell from the previous clip, things definitely got lit at this inaugural Circus Maximus show. And I feel like it was a great indicator of just how crazy the rest of this Utopia tour would be, and just how crazy the fans would go with Travis Scott selling nearly 500,000 records in the first week. And while fans and ragers like myself finally had a chance to listen to some new music from Travis Scott after nearly 5 years, he would also have another trick up his sleeve by previewing and wearing his upcoming Jordan collaboration titled the Jumpman Jacks, as you guys can see in the 2 previous photos. And he would also go on to preview several different colorways, with my favorite being either the black and white or the black, white, and red, and I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Now, in addition to dropping this now classic Utopia album, Travis would also go on to drop the Utopia merch collection, which was not without its controversy. So for the next part of this video, I wanted to preface this footage that I took when the merch first dropped, and I want you guys to hear my reaction when it comes to the shipping times and how it definitely influenced me when it came to the pieces that I was picking up. And then we'll come back to what I have to think about it right after. If you're not familiar, Travis Scott is slated to release his brand new 4th studio album Utopia, allegedly later this month. Fingers crossed and drum roll please. So today we got even further proof that the album is not too far off from release and probably later this month. Now, a lot of times with Travis Scott merch, the biggest headache when it comes to his merch is that it takes on average 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes even more, for the pieces to actually release, which is definitely a bummer given that you're paying sometimes $125 for, say, a sweatshirt, and then you're not getting it for 3 to 4 months later. So you'll find out, which is a pleasant surprise relative to this drop right here, and we're going to take a look in just a second here, that a lot of his merch, if not all of them, for this Utopia drop is actually releasing 1 week after the release of the album. Yes, you heard that correctly. You're actually going to get your Travis Scott Utopia merch on time, and it shouldn't be taking 4 months and sometimes even longer just to get them.
A few moments later.
Okay, now fast forwarding to present day, aka 6 months since that first video dropped, I have to report that I actually still haven't received 2 of my original merch bundles. And I have to say, along with myself and about 300 to 400 other people that have commented on my Utopia merch videos, that not a single person had their merch shipped within that 1 week time frame that was advertised when the merch first dropped. And don't even get me started when it comes to how lazy and low effort the Air Force One collaboration was for this collection, especially when you consider just how much effort went into his first Air Force One collabs. And if you want a video exploring that topic, let me know in the comments. Now, while we all definitely got played and misled when it came to the shipping situation for this Utopia merch drop, I do have to report on the flip side that the quality of these pieces that I did receive in hand anyway was actually pretty good, and I have no complaints. And I have to mention from personal experience, having worn this exact Black Cause Utopia tee over the last 6 months since filming this review, I have to say that it's held up quite well and I haven't had any issues with any of the graphics or any of the quality. So while it did take 10 years for some of these pieces to actually arrive, I have to say that I feel like most of them were worth the wait. And I'd love to know what you all think in the comments. Now, something else I wanted to point out about this Utopia merch collection is just how much variety there is amongst all of the different pieces. And while I'm not covering it in this video, he ended up going on to drop about 3 to 4 different waves with different collaborations as part of every single one. And what I wanted to point out that I appreciate about this is that I feel like with so much merch variety, it allows your fans to finally pick something that works for them. Because I realized a lot of artists go pretty lazy when it comes to their merch designs, but one thing about Travis Scott that you can tell throughout his career is that he definitely cares about his aesthetics, his looks, and his merch. So if you're watching this video and you can relate to being a victim of the shipping situation, let us know in the comments, because it was really dope to grow this community and share the suffering that we all felt around this Utopia merch drop. Now, when it comes to present day 6 months later, there are actually still some things available on his website related to the Utopia drop, and for those of you that aren't aware, he also has some city exclusive merch that is available at damn near every city on this Utopia tour, with the city exclusive merch being available on his website for about 24 hours following the performance, with this most recent one being the Miami show. Now, with all that being said, Travis Scott definitely has another classic album on his hands, and Utopia is definitely my album of the year for 2023. And to be honest, I haven't stopped listening to it since then, and it's probably my favorite release of the last few years. And although Travis and his team definitely dropped the ball when it came to the shipping situation, if nothing more for not communicating to the fans at least some updates, I have to say I was super surprised at how many great pieces there were and dope collabs like the Cause one that I picked up. Now, if you're curious about how this Utopia collection stacks up to Travis Scott's Astroworld, I actually covered that in another video, so I'll link that one in the description. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for cooking with the kitchen. Like I mentioned, Travis Scott's definitely got a legendary album on his hands, and I can't wait to see what else he has in store for all of us ragers. As always, guys, thank you so much for cooking with the kitchen. Remember to stay safe out there, and remember, it's lit, straight up, and peace.